Hello, in this video I'm going to explain how attack weight works in Limbus Company and how you can use this information to your advantage in order to target the enemies you want to target with skills with attack weight. Alright, let's get right into it. So first we need to go over the basic principles of attack weight, and then I'm going to show some video clips that demonstrate how this all works. So the first thing you need to know is that attack weight prioritizes untargeted enemy skill slots. And these enemy skill slots will have a weight from 1 to 3. Their skill slot weight is how much attack weight it takes to splash them. So if we target an enemy who has 3 weight with a skill that has 7 attack weight, 7 minus 3 is 4, now we'll have 4 attack weight left over to splash other targets with. Lastly, targeting focuses on slots and not body parts. This means that if a body part of an enemy has multiple slots, it can absorb multiple attack weight, even if each slot only has 1 weight itself, and it'll take no additional damage because you can only hit the part once per skill. Now let's see an example of an enemy with multiple weight, and here I've preemptively green circled it. It's my form empties. His stone seat and his body both have 3 slot weight, which means if you splash them with attack weight, you're going to have less than normal left over to target other enemies. Now, if there are not enough untargeted skill slots, then the attack weight will loop back around and start targeting skill slots in the front again. So depending on your situation, you may or may not want that. But now let's see some video examples of how this all works, because that'll make it make more sense. Okay. So here in this clip, you can see I have telephone pole selected, and I'm going to target the front maid with telephone pole. And there it is. Telephone pole has 3 attack weight, and it's splashing the front 3 maids. That's all very normal. But now let's say I don't want to splash those front 3 maids. I can now target those 2, and now I retarget telephone pole, and you can see telephone pole's targeting changed because it's prioritizing untargeted enemy skill slots, so it's no longer attacking the maids in the front, and it's now attacking the butlers in the back. And if I do that again, if I untarget telephone pole, and I target those back 2 butlers, and now I retarget telephone pole, you'll see that it's hitting the butler in the very back corner, the last butler, but then its 3rd attack weight looped around and came to this front maid because it ran out of untargeted skill slots to target, so it came back to the front. Alright, let's see another video clip of how this all works. Here's another situation. I've got fluid sac, and as you can see, fluid sac has 5 attack weight, so it's targeting the front 5 butlers because all of them are untargeted. But if I untarget fluid sac, and now I target one of those front butlers, and I retarget fluid sac, you can see it's now hitting the butler that was untargeted in the corner, and it's ignoring the lead butler in the very front because now that enemy's skill slot has been targeted by another skill. Okay, let's review a 3rd example of how this all works. Get that out here. Now this is an example of how this all can get messed up by the prioritization on enemy skill slots. So as you can see, Josephine, who only has 1 weight, has 4 skill slots though. So if I target representation emitter, which I've done, it's targeting Josephine, and now it's splashing these front 2 targets, these front 2 maids, which is all well and good. But if we untarget representation emitter, and we start targeting these front 2 maids, and now we retarget it, its attack weight is now no longer doing any splash damage. It's only hitting Josephine, which is bad. We don't want that. But the reason why it's only targeting Josephine is because these maids have been targeted. So its prioritization is on these back 3 untargeted skill slots, even though that's entirely useless and will do no extra damage. So that's why you want to avoid those kind of situations. And in a situation like this, you want to do it like I did originally, where you queue up the ego first, and now it's going to target these 2 butlers in the front and not waste all of its attack weight on Josephine. Okay, so that's how skills that have built-in attack weight work, which is ego. Only ego have skills with built-in attack weight. It's actually pretty simple. It just prioritizes untargeted slots, and you can manipulate it how you will. Now, things get more complicated when we talk about skills with conditional attack weight. These are skills like Butler Ryoshu's Receiving Arts 7 Capture, which at the start of combat lets her consume poise count to gain 2 attack weight. So on a skill that gains attack weight at the start of combat, or if it's something like Wild Hunt Heathcliff, who gains it on use, or if it's something like Dawn Office Sinclair, who gains it before attack, their targeting, unlike Ego, is determined at the time the attack weight is gained. However, the good news is that it has identical target prioritization to Ego skills with attack weight, meaning that it prioritizes untargeted enemies. So I know that's a bit confusing, so let's see a video example of how this all works. Okay, so here I've got Maid Ryoshu's skill 2 ready, and she has enough poise to use it, so she's going to gain attack weight at combat start. We're just checking things with telephone pole to see how that all works. It's not really necessary, but okay. All right, there we go. So I queue it up here, and now what I want to show is that telephone pole here claimed it was only targeting Jun, right? Because the front 2 henchmen had been targeted, so now telephone pole's attack weight is prioritizing Jun's back skill slots. However, if we apply Maid Ryoshu there, you might think, oh, well, since her attack has 3 attack weight, it's going to line up just like telephone pole did, and it's going to attack all of these untargeted skill slots in the back. However, that's not the case, as we'll see, and I'll explain why. Let's cue this stuff up. Okay. Now, if we watch Ryoshu, she targets all 3 of them. Now, why is that? It's because her targeting was determined at the time she gained the attack weight, which is right now. And at the time she gained attack weight, which is, again, right now, we can see that I had targeted every single one of Jun's skill slots with the back 4 sinners. So that meant when Ryoshu gained her attack weight, every single enemy skill slot was targeted, and therefore her targeting looped back around and targeted the front enemies again, even though they were already targeted, because she had no more unprioritized targets to hit. Whereas if I had used telephone pole there, if I had lined up telephone pole said, if we look at that again, that it was only going to hit the back skill slots. Oh, I have to rewind it a bit. See that one more time. See, there it is. Telephone pole said it would only hit the back skill slots. That's because its targeting is determined at the time of skill selection, not at the time of combat start, unlike Ryoshu. Just a weird little quirk. Okay, let's see another example. So here we've got Wild Hunt Heathcliff. Unlike Ryoshu, he gains his attack weight on use, not at combat start, but the effect is the same. His targeting is determined the moment he gets the attack weight. So if we watch here, I'm targeting every single enemy except Merceau, Blade Lineage Merceau. So now, when Wild Hunt Heathcliff gets his turn, he's going to target Otis, because that's who he's locked onto, and then he's going to look for the first untargeted enemy skill slot, which is going to be Merceau. Now, if Merceau was targeted, his targeting would have looped back around, and he would hit Faust, because Faust is in the front. But I've fixed that by making sure someone's targeting Faust, so now Wild Hunt Heathcliff's skill is going to look for the first enemy skill slot without targeting. Let's see it in action. Wild Hunt Heathcliff wins this clash, of course. And there he goes. He hits Merceau and he hits Otis because he went to Merceau since he was the first untargeted enemy skill slot. Alright, let's watch a final example of how conditional attack weight works. Alright, so I have to skip ahead a bit on this clip because this one took me a minute to record. But we'll see that I target all of the enemies except for the maids using the envy skills, number 4 and number 5 over here. So now, when Ryoshu takes her turn, she's going to gain attack weight, and then her skill is going to look for the first unprioritized enemy, or sorry, not unprioritized, untargeted, and when it finds that, she's going to attack them. See that in just a moment. Okay. All right, just getting through these clashes. I'll skip ahead a bit. A little bit. Yeah, this clash goes on for 9. Okay, here it is. And boom, as we can see, she targets all 3 of the female maids, which if we rewind the clip, were the maids with the envy skills, and then the maid she targeted manually with the evade, because those were the unprioritized targets. All right. I hope you found this useful, helpful. I know that was a lot of talking in a short amount of time, but I hope the video clips help make it clear how attack weight works. Basically, the too long didn't read is attack weight seeks out unprioritized skill slots. Sorry, not unprioritized, untargeted. I said it again. Untargeted skill slots. If there are no untargeted skill slots, its targeting will loop back to the front enemies or the front skill slots. And if the skill is one that gains attack weight rather than just innately has attack weight, its targeting is determined at the time attack weight is gained rather than at the time its targeting is made in the skill selection. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you around, Manager.